and welcome to Moms on Mics. I'm Joanne.
I'm Cash.
And I'm Sophia.
Before we get started, we just want to state that we don't do these episodes to shame or embarrass the daycare centers, the owners, or the staff. All the information we are sharing is public record and, to the best of our knowledge, factual. We believe the parents have the right to know, and not all parents are aware of the information is out there. The information we obtained in this podcast, we obtained from the news reports by CBC and Google. Some of what we are going to read is factual. That is on the internet. It is free for everybody to find out this information. That is not our opinion. That is Alberta Childcare look up tool. So you are free to find that information. It is public record. Some of the things we may add will be our own personal opinion. We based off what the facts that we are reading. So take it with a grain of salt, whatever. Okay, in this episode, we are talking about Zebra Crossing Academy. The Zebra Crossing Academy in Mahogany. The daycare has been placed on a probationary license after a number of non-compliances. The province has also temporarily reduced the program's license capacity and revoked its ability to care for children under the age of 3. This will affect 82 spaces. Some of the reasons listed in the complaints investigation report into the facility list license suspension for accidents or illness where a child receives medical supervision, child guidance in reasonable circumstances, and minimum staffing and general supervision. Zebra Crossing Academy probationary license will expire on January 21st, 2026. If the licensed childcare program is unable to return to compliance during the probationary period, the suspended license expires and is not reinstated. That is a statement by the province. After extensive searching, I finally found the director of Zebra Crossing Mahogany. This is not listed on their website. This was very difficult to find. In fact, they don't have any staff members listed on their website, which is really bizarre. I will say every other daycare that we have investigated, they have the staff members on there. They say what their position is, what room they're in. This one has nobody listed. And as far as the actual owner of the company, couldn't tell you, which again is very weird.
Yeah, it's like all hush hush.
Yeah. Like normally they're very open about who owns it, who runs it, like the director's name, all the staff. They have their pictures, they have what room they're listed. This is nothing. So in my opinion, that would be a red flag as far as they probably have a lot of staff turnover and don't want to waste the time putting it in on their website of what their staff members are.
They absolutely have a lot of staff turnover.
Yeah. And there again, that's our opinion.
That is our opinion.
Based on the fact
we
that
do have some staff complaints.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. I also found it strange that the only info that I could find so after extensive searching, I finally found the director of Zebra Crossing Mahogany to be Alaya Kaki. It's very strange that the website doesn't list the director or staff members, like I said, but it was also strange that the only info I could find on her was on her LinkedIn, and it's her education. So her education is University of Calgary and University of Lethbridge, Bachelor of Management, major in HR, Human Service General. So that was between 1999 and 2004. Then employment is the director of Zebra Crossing, but no dates listed. So granted, not everybody keeps up with their LinkedIn profile, but it just seems strange that she went back onto the LinkedIn platform to put that she is the director of this daycare, but didn't update anything else. That it just seems a little odd to me. I could be looking too much into it, but take that for what it is. So quick note about the reviews on their website. We're not going to go over their reviews on their website. So their website, the review section is set up as a constant scroll. So the so-called Google reviews on their site, and I say so-called because I don't really believe that they're authentic reviews. And the reason being is you can't stop the scroll to read them. And they are all 5-star reviews and also very generic. Like They just don't seem authentic at all, and you can't stop long enough to read them. It just continuously scrolls. If I had a business that had all these amazing five-star reviews, I want y'all to read them, especially if it's a childcare business where you want to bring your kids to this place. So whether it's just crappy website design, I don't know, but I would want those reviews being read, especially now.
And since she's a director, she should technically be on the website because, like, I know Bright Path, for example, they might not have all the teachers on it because it's a very big company, but
Yeah,
they have the director on it to that site.
exactly. Because realistically, where are parents finding the daycare they want? Like, so you've got a little baby and you know you need daycare and you drive past one in your community and you're like, oh, perfect. That's going to work out great. Let me look them up online. So you want to see a face to that company, at least the director. You want to put some kind of face to where we're not talking about where do I want to buy my groceries. This is where do we want to send our children for care. If you can't take the time and put even the director's face on your website, I don't know, you just don't seem too welcoming to me. Again, just personal opinion.
Some of the incidents they have had previously. There was 3 non-compliances found July 16th, 2024. Incident reporting, report each incident to director in manner required by statutory director. The enforcement action was variation of license provisions, remedy date July 18th, 2024. Child guidance, reasonable in the circumstances, variation of license provisions, August 1st, 2024. Notice of changes. Comply with program plan in accordance with section 2A and 5B. Variation license provisions, August 9, 2024. 2 non-compliances were found in total on July 25th, 2024. One being notice of changes. Comply with program plan in accordance with section 2A and 5B. It was ordered to remedy and the remedy date was August 9th, 2024. Second one was manner of feeding, appropriate to age and level of development. Order to remedy, August 9th, 2024.
Okay, so this was a complaint sent to them. This wasn't just the regular inspection. So, like the first one that you said, that was an incident. So, which I would assume would be a complaint also. How would they know there's an incident if nobody told them, right?
Well, and the first one is almost the same as the last one.
Yeah. So, and then the next one, see how it's inspection.
Okay.
So this was like just a regular inspection type thing. So it's different when someone complains to them or someone makes an incident report versus their regular inspection.
Inspection. 2 non-compliances were found in total on September 24th, 2024. First one, 20. Furnishing and equipment, indoor and outdoor furnishing developmentally appropriate. Order to remedy, October 15th, 2024. Next one was ratio and maximum group size, maximum number of children in the group. Order to remedy, remedy date, October 15th, 2024. Inspection 1. Non-compliances were found in total on March 7th, 2025. Medication administered according to labeled directions. Order to remedy and remedy date was March 12, 2025. Complaint investigations. 3 non-compliances were found in total on September 2nd, 2025. First one, furnishings and equipment. Indoor and outdoor furnishings developmentally appropriate. Order to remedy. Remedy date September 19, 2025. Second one, accident or illness. Child's parent is notified of incident. Order to remedy. Remedy date September 19, 2025. Third one, incident reporting. Report each incident to director in a manner required by statutory director. Order to remedy, and the remedy date was September 19, 2025. Complaint investigation. 3 non-compliances were found in total on October 23rd, 2025. This is the one that has finally got the daycare a suspended license. There was a complaint investigation made on October 8th and critical incident report made also on the 23rd. Those two, however, showed no non-compliances according to the Alberta Child Care Lookup tool. Although I don't see how that can be the case, especially as also on the 23rd, the complaint investigation showed 3 non-compliances. First non-compliance, child guidance, reasonable in the circumstances. Enforcement action was license suspended. Remedy date, November 4th, 2025. Second one, accident or illness, child receives medical attention. Enforcement action, license suspension. Remedy date is November 18th, 2025. Final one is minimum staffing and general supervision. Children at all times supervised. Enforcement is variation of license provisions. Remedy date, April 22, 2026.
Okay, now we don't have any idea of what exactly happened. Unfortunately, there is no reporting, like everything that is being reported on this, they are just reporting that there was an incident and their license has been changed. But there's no, like everything is kind of being kept private for now, pending investigation. So it's hard to say exactly what happened, but I mean, it had to have been something major enough for them to shut down their like the kids under 3. They can't have any kids under the age of 3 there. And with it being a child like a accident or illness, and then the minimum staffing, I'm gonna guess my personal opinion. This is not facts. This is me taking a guess. A kid got hurt, and there was not enough staff in the room. Obviously, unless that's 2 separate situations that happened, but I'm gonna guess that a kid got hurt or had like an illness serious enough to be going to the hospital, and there was not enough supervision there, which is a huge fucking deal. Like,
And probably
especially,
a kid that's under 3.
absolutely. Yeah,
Because why would it be only under 3?
yeah. So this is not something to be taken lightly, and yeah, I mean, until they post exactly, until that's been made public, we don't know. It is speculation, but from what we can gather from the non-compliances, somebody got hurt bad enough that it's being documented, right? So,
I wish that parent would leave a review
right,
on Google reviews. Like there's a lot of negative ones on Google reviews, but they go back years.
yeah,
Like yeah, so parent, if you're out there,
right. If you're
please,
listening and
we
you
need
want
to
to
know
reach
what
out,
happened.
we are on your side.
We
We
are
want this place
100%.
shut down. I
Yeah.
honestly think we need to stop giving them second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth chances. Shut that shit down. If you can't run we're not talking again, it's not talking about a grocery store. We're not talking about a restaurant or even like a kids play place where accidents can happen and whatever. They are looking after these children all day long. Some of those kids are probably there for 10 hours and they can't get their shit together. Are you kidding me? Like, this is your job. This is your job to take care of these kids. They're kids and they're little kids. We say this every time we have to cover one of these. These are little children. They're babies,
They're just little.
right?
Little guys. Yeah.
I can't imagine. Like, my heart sinks every time one of the kids falls. I could not imagine letting them be injured or like,
Yeah.
oh, it makes me so mad I can't even get my words out. And
And the thing is like these guys are part of the most vulnerable sector. So why are you keeping these places open?
Not only that, but I think the public has a right to know
oh,
exactly what
100%.
happened.
Yeah,
And this doesn't tell you what happened,
it
right?
doesn't.
And I think everybody has a right to know, especially people who send their children here.
Exactly.
And
That's the problem.
if you're not capable of, like, if you have been suspended from looking after children 3 and under, or like, do you feel comfortable sending your 4 and up
Oh,
child
fuck no.
there? Right?
Right?
Like we should be made aware of what is happening. Because I know that if I read this and I had a child attending there and they were like 4 years old, be like, no, we're
Yeah,
not.
absolutely
Like
not.
something's up and they're being secretive about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, no.
And I'm sure
So,
that some of the secretive or whatever is because it's pending investigation or the privacy of the young child. I get that. But you're also potentially putting other kids in danger because parents are
yeah,
continuing to send their kids there thinking, well, I'm not too worried because they've obviously taken care of it and my child is older than that. Your 3-year-old is like what? I don't understand this misconnect that comes in where, okay, kids 3 and under. What changes from, okay, like yesterday my kid was 2, today's his birthday, now he's 3, so now he's safe. What? It could happen to an under 3-year-old, but definitely not a 4-year-old.
yeah.
Why? What's the difference? I'm sorry. If this is that big of a deal that you're willing to cut that license for those kids, like for kids under 3, shut it down pending investigation. And I understand the inconvenience that is to the parents. I 100% understand that. If you're in Mahogany, go on your Facebook, like the community page. There's probably 100 day homes willing to care for your kids safely.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. And they only have 6 kids
Exactly.
opposed to 60, 80,
Right?
80, sorry, 80.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
it just there's way safer means out there. And I know not everybody understands, and a lot of people say, well, day homes are no safer. There's only one staff. Exactly. There's only one staff. That's exactly why, in my opinion, and obviously my opinion is biased, but I have worked in daycare and I have run my day home. The kids are safer in a day home. I'm sorry, but they are.
They absolutely are. Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moms know when people are good to be around their kids. You just know. You have that mama bear instinct.
Yeah.
When you meet somebody, you should know within a few minutes how comfortable you are, right? And I mean, for providers too, I have met parents that I'm like, hell no. No thanks, not interested. There's a vibe. There's a something there. So, and parents have it with me, and I don't take offense by it. If you don't get a good vibe from me, that's okay. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I get that. But it's not that day homes in general, like each day home provider is different. But you get to know that provider, you become like family.
You do. Yep.
You don't get that in a daycare.
You don't get that personalization in a daycare, right?
No, absolutely not.
It's all about business.
Yeah.
And yeah, a day home, you become part of the family.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Your providers spend all weekend making sugar cookies and decorating them and icing them at 11 o'clock at night because they love those kids and they want them to be happy. Just saying.
The Alberta government introduced a new system of administrative penalties or fines for daycare operators and staff that come into force on September 30th, 2025. These financial penalties are part of a broader set of changes to strengthen oversight and accountability in the childcare sector. The 3 of the violations on October 23rd could result in a fine under Alberta's new administrative penalty system. The exact amount would depend on the nature and severity of the contravention based on a case-by-case assessment by the statutory director. Violation 1. Child guidance. Reasonable in the circumstances, this violation involves inappropriate child guidance, and the consequences would depend on the specific details, such as the severity of the action and the impact on the child. Fines can be issued for any violation of the Early Learning and Childcare Act or its regulations. Improper child guidance directly contravenes these standards. Penalty classification. Depending on the severity, this could fall into any risk category. High risk could result in a fine between $500 and $10,000. Moderate risk could result in a fine between $250 and $4,000. Low risk could result in a fine between $50 and $1,000. Other consequences, in addition to a fine, a license suspension could still be issued, as fines are just one of several enforcement tools available. Violation 2. accident, or illness, a child receives medical attention. This violation relates to a program's failure to follow procedures around accidents or illness, particularly when a child requires medical attention. It is a serious safety lapse. This kind of incident would be a top priority for corrective action, and a fine could be issued alongside a license suspension. Penalty classification: as a matter with a potentially high impact on a child's health and safety, this would likely be assessed as a moderate or high-risk contravention. Moderate to high risk, possible fines between $250 and $10,000. Other consequences: in addition to a fine, a license suspension is likely consequence, as the two types of penalties are not mutually exclusive. Violation 3. Minimum staffing and general supervision. This is a critical high-risk violation, as inadequate supervision can have serious consequences for a child's safety and well-being. Could result in a fine? Yes, and potentially a very substantial one. An operator can be fined for each day a contravention continues. Penalty classification: this would almost certainly be considered a high-risk contravention, possibly attracting a daily fine. High-risk, potential fines between $500 and $10,000. Continuing contravention: if the program fails to correct the staffing issue, a cumulative penalty of up to $10,000 per day can be applied. Other consequences: a variation of license provisions, like placing the program on probation, is another enforcement tool that can be used along with a fine.
So basically, it's saying that because of the rules that were broken, because they violated the rules or the laws or whatever, then they could potentially be getting this fine, which is fantastic. Yeah. This is going to be the first time publicly that we've seen a daycare get this fine, which they put in.
Will they get the fine?
Honestly, if they don't, the government has lost all credibility as far as these fines go. These fines can go to day home providers as well, right? So I was a lawyer and had a day home provider come to me and say, hey, I got this non-compliance and it's not a major one. It's just, or this is what it was. However, there was a daycare that was very publicly in the news for having all these non-compliances. They had their license suspended. They had their license altered, whatever. They didn't get a fine. Why did I? As a lawyer, I'd be like, not to worry, that's not going to fly, because they can't say this fine goes in place if you don't follow the rules. Well, only for some of y'all, though. It's not going to work for everybody. So if they don't put the fines on this daycare, all credibility with these fines are lost.
Right, but how are you even to know?
They need to make it public. They need to say,
they need to, but would they?
If they don't, they're shooting themselves in the foot. If you're putting in consequences, you need to follow through, because if you don't find these daycares, are they going to continue to have non-compliances? Of course they are, because if they do, nothing happens. So the government has a huge responsibility here to put these fines in and to make it publicly known. This is going to be the situation that they get to make an example of this daycare. They're going to use this daycare to set the example for everybody else, right? So if they don't find this daycare, if they don't make this fine publicly known, all credibility with the fines have gone out the window. You are telling these, essentially, if that's what they do, you are telling these daycares that the fine, it's just a threat, basically. It's an empty threat made by the government to hopefully people do a better job. That's not going to work.
But the thing is this one is so much in the media right now that they will tell you about this one.
Exactly.
It's probably the side ones that you'll never.
For sure. I'm not saying that this is the first daycare that, since the fines have been put in place, this is the first daycare that should be getting the fines. Absolutely not. There's probably 10 more that should have had fines already. But because, like you said, because it's in the public eye now, they need to make sure that the public know these fines went through.
No, but what I mean is they're going to make sure it's known for this one because it's all out in the media.
Yeah.
Whereas they might slack on letting everybody else know about the other ones.
It's the government. Of course, they are going to slack and not fine everybody else. But if they use this one to make an example of, it at least might put that extra fear in other daycare centers that you have to step it up. I tell you, as soon as that threat of fines came out, the fear was sure put in day home providers,
Yeah, they were.
Oh yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I guarantee that every day home provider out there, guarantee every single one of them, myself included, stepped up our game. Doubly made sure that we're doing everything that we're supposed to be doing. Like the fear is there for us because if we get slapped with a $10,000 a day fine, we lose everything. There is not a day home provider out there that would not affect. Like, right? We're not rich. Like we don't do this stuff
Yeah.
for the money. So if we all stepped up, and if the daycare centers are not going to be getting this fine, what makes them step up? We already know the climate that is within the industry right now. There's not a lot of daycare owners that have the same care and adoration for children. They're not all in it for the same reasons that they used to be in it. Let's put it that way, right? So there needs to be a fire lit under their ass to be like, you might be in it for the money, but you're going to do your fucking job and you're going to do it right. And if you don't, that money that you're in it for, you ain't getting it. You're paying it back. Like, there's got to be something. So the government needs to follow through with their shit on that one. All right, so because there's a lack of information out there, like we said, we don't know what happened for sure. It's not reported on. There's not much we can tell you about the incident, unfortunately. There was not a lot of information to find about who owns the daycare center. That's one of my favorite things to do when we're reporting on these daycares is to be like, look at the dipshit that owns this place and how bad they are.
Look at this realtor that
right?
owns this daycare.
Exactly. That is my favorite thing. I thought for one second I found someone with the same name as the director, and I was like, holy shit, another realtor. It was not the same person, unfortunately.
Well, it doesn't look like by the director's education that they really have
That's one good point, actually.
any child care
Which is
schooling behind them.
That's an excellent point because to be a child care director, you
have
need
to
a level
have a
three.
level 3. And according to their profile,
According to
they
LinkedIn,
do
they do not. Yeah.
Do
So
not.
I'd be interested to see if
Like zero
yeah.
zero education to do with children.
And I feel like I would definitely like, okay, I have not gone on my LinkedIn profile in, like, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years, like to update it. I did recently have to like re-log in and find my stuff purely to do these investigations on the people. I have not looked at my own. However, if I suddenly got a new job that required me to have a certain education or whatever, and I did have that education, I sure as shit would be going on my LinkedIn profile. If I went on my LinkedIn profile to put that job on there, I sure as shit would be putting the education along with it. That's why I say it's strange that she only had that one thing listed under education, which does not match her job. You know, if you took the time to go in there and put the job in there, take the extra 2 seconds it takes you to put your education in there, if you have it. If you don't have it, why the fuck do you have the job that requires it? Right?
Yeah.
Like, there's that, yeah. And unfortunately, like, I scoured and scoured. I mean, I was up till 3 a.m. looking for information on this chick. Nothing. It was like, I couldn't even find an Instagram profile for her or Facebook, nothing. Which, as we found before with other cases, as soon as shit hits the fan, suddenly everything goes, let me hide, right? So fair enough, that could be the case. But if you're trying to wipe out and like be hidden, you forgot LinkedIn. Heads up. Just like the guy that we covered, the pervy guy.
Oh yeah.
That was awful. You forgot to turn your location service off on Twitter. So we're going to get into some reviews. Okay, so the next 4 reviews were posted within real time while I was researching it on Friday, October 24th at 10:04 p.m. The reason I say the time is because it says an hour ago or 2 minutes ago in the review.
Right.
So that's why. And I apologize for everyone. I'm going to say your name wrong. I'm sorry. So, Gaurav Sharma, an hour ago. Worst place to send your kid. That's it.
That's it. It's just the worst place to send your
Right?
kid.
Fair enough.
Take it seriously.
Exactly.
Probably true.
Right? Charlie Camille, 2 minutes ago. All the complaints against them over very concerning things, and it took until now to do something about it. Vlad Lonsku, 5 hours ago. Really happy with the daycare and the absolute great staff. My little one has been going there for 3 years, 0 issues.
That sounds really sus. Yeah, you happen to post that right after everything goes down. So that sounds like a bullshit review to me,
Yeah. No, you're exactly right.
right?
You're right. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
5 hours ago, it was somebody went, oh shit, I need a fake name. Which, Vlad, a great fake name. Makes me think of Vlad the Impaler, though, so you probably could have done a little bit better there. Okay, Abdul Latif Benson Lamidi, 9 hours ago. Disappointing experience with the poor communication. We booked a tour and completed the registration process for our children. We arrived at the daycare right on time for our scheduled tour, only to receive a phone call from the administrator at the very moment informing us that our tour had been canceled due to some repair work. Although inconvenient, we understood and agreed to reschedule for the following week. However, just a day later, the same administrator called again, this time to say that all tours were being canceled because the daycare was now full to capacity. When I asked for clarification, I pointed out that they had previously mentioned being full but still encouraged us to rebook the tour and stay on the wait list. The experience showed a lack of respect and professionalism towards parents' time and effort. Their communication and organization were extremely disappointing. I would not recommend wasting your time with such unprofessional and inconsiderate administration. Okay, so I'm just gonna say, Abdul, you dodged a fucking bullet there, man.
Right.
Like, yeah, they canceled not because of them being full, but because they got their like under three care shut down and didn't want to say that, right? That's exactly why. Because I mean, this was 9 hours ago, like on Friday, so 9 hours prior. This was
Yeah.
when the shit was coming out, so they canceled because they were in shit and they knew it, but they didn't want to tell that to potential parents. So
Right.
you dodged a bullet, Abdul. Lucky, lucky.
This one is from Private. Edited 3 years ago. Significant abuse occurring in this daycare. Concerns. Huge lack of transparency with no communication. See Google reviews of her on other zebra crossing locations in North for more info on this from others as well. Left me feeling uneasy about the whole situation, and we always felt like they were trying to hide information from parents. As soon as we left the daycare, that's when I found out what was truly happening when my child was attending from current and previous teachers. Teachers are asked to sign non-disclosure of daycare operations, which isn't allowed, and the owner constantly reminded them of it to promote fear. The constant theme of concerns that what I was told were regarding ratio and food shortage. The ratio was very often off, leaving the children with little supervision or attention to their needs. For confirmation of this, Google Alberta Child Care Lookup, search for zebra, and you will see many recent investigations and non-compliances supporting this. As of September 2022, they have a suspended license due to major incidents and validating every concern listed here.
Whoa, this happened in 2022 as well?
And in 2024, and again now in
What?
2025,
WTF.
right?
And see, when I told my friend, because she was sitting there with me, I was like, oh, did you see this? And she goes, yeah, this isn't the first time they've had this happen. And I was like, what?
What?
Right?
This
Like
is the third time it's happened?
that we know of. This could have happened
Wow.
way more, but the thing with the child care lookup tool is it only goes back 18 months.
Wow.
Yeah, which I actually think is kind of bullshit. I think, honestly, it should go back forever, as long as that daycare has been operating. Now, whether it's something to do with their website or whatever, there should be some way to find that out. Simply for like a pattern of behavior, right? Not necessarily like, okay, 20 years ago, this daycare did this, so I'm not going to send my kid there now. That's not a thing. It's for like, if this has been happening for the last 20 years, like,
Yeah.
I'm not sending my kid there. Like, they need to keep it longer. 18 months to me, I'm sorry, that's not long enough.
Nope.
Sorry, Cash.
As for food, I knew something was up when they wouldn't send the menu to parents from June to August as it wasn't finalized. I was told by the previous director that quit due to concerns that the owner wasn't allowing the menu to be sent to parents, and now I know it's because they didn't have a chef. didn't follow the menu or even have proper amount of food to feed the children. I was informed that they often ate the same meals and there were days where there was little to no food. And when teachers contacted the owner, she said, "Stretch what you have. Shipment only comes on Tuesday," and wouldn't provide support. I was told that the worst day of food shortage, babies ate oatmeal for breakfast, lunch, and snack. I was told that they were so low on food that they thought of using the teachers' lunches to feed the babies. We were told there would be a chef. I've never seen a chef and was told there wasn't a chef. One of the teachers needed to leave class, leaving them off ratio to cook meals for the children. No amount of work or improvement could help me understand how this woman sleeps at night knowing that ratio is often off, leaving kids with improper supervision and kids have no food. They need to stretch out what they have, leaving them to eat oatmeal. They promote being an academic facility, but have two non-compliances of lack of supervision and not meeting children's needs. Another worry and common issue is teachers bringing the wrong child to wrong parents at pickup, which happened to us and two other mothers that I am aware of. Luckily, I happened to be walking up to pick up my child while a teacher tried to give my child to another father. Until owner takes takes accountability and demonstrates transparency, I would avoid. To further explain on the lack of transparency/accountability, most positive reviews only appeared recently due to her wanting to flush out bad reviews from the other parents who've experienced the same as we did. Most positive reviews are all from teachers as well. They will tell you what you want to hear, see, to get you in, which is what happened to us, and we will forever regret this decision. Overall, a lot of concerns, not only limited to supervision and lack of food, but lack of transparency, lack of communication, lack of consistency for babies, lack of parent-teacher relationship, and lack of trying to see you and your child as anything more than a number or monthly income. There is also a huge lack in child development, child observation, and child consideration.
Can you fucking imagine, like, hey, I'm sorry, staff, you're gonna have to give up your lunch because we need to feed it to the kids. What the fuck? What? Like, you're a daycare center. What do you mean you don't have enough food? Like, okay, fair enough, you ran out of what you were serving for lunch because, sometimes kids are extra hungry and they want multiple helpings, but there's food there, right? There's other food. Like, I've run out of what I've made for the kids for lunch because I'm like, damn, I didn't expect you to like it so much. So I add, here's some bread to go with it. Here's some crackers. Here's a banana. There's still food. If the daycare should never be asking the staff to give the children their lunch. Are you fucking kidding me? And I get that this was in 2022, but if this was now and parents are paying that additional fee for the lunch, what the fuck?
This, I am assuming, is a response to that review. So it's Zebra Crossing Academy, Mahogany owner, 3 years ago. This is a repeat of a review you have left in the past. Why do you continue to post the same review over again, considering you are not a customer of this establishment?
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say, hey, owner, that's not the response you should have made.
No.
Like, I don't give a shit if this is an old review. Either A, know it's an old review and just don't address it, or B, and I'm gonna say I like B, or address the concerns. If you feel that his review needed you to respond to, address his concerns. Apologize. I'm sorry you had a bad experience here. I hope we can move forward or something. Don't be like, oh my God, you posted this before. You don't even go here now. What the fuck? Like, you're the fucking owner. What the hell? You realize how unprofessional and fucking stupid this makes you look, right?
Yeah.
Like, you would have been better off not saying anything. In all honesty, this is just the dumbest response ever. You're a business owner. You care for children. That was you dug down deep and was like, I'm going to respond to this. Oh my God, fuck you. Like, what? Nice. Nicely done, owner. Oh my God.
Okay. So this is from 2 years ago by Sarah. Look up their list of complaints and non-compliance on the Alberta Child Care Lookup website. They do not feed the kids enough, lack of supervision, they are constantly breaking rules and underfeeding kids. Katie Songer, Zebra Crossing Academy needs to be shut down. They go against regulations in regards to transportation. Our daughter is to have a driver. They contracted to go to and from school to zebra crossing. Sophia did not do this. In fact, Sophia, the driver, took our daughter to a house and left her in the vehicle. My daughter was afraid and told us while she cried. Zebra Crossing didn't contact us when our daughter was extremely late to be dropped off back to Zebra Crossing and disregarded the situation when it could have been very bad. They employ drivers who abandon children in a vehicle, do not follow specific routes, can't express how much I hate this place for the fear they put in my daughter through and the possible situation she could have been in. They didn't care. Think twice if you want to see your children at the end of the day. The situation they withheld from me and put my daughter through was terrifying.
Let me just say though, the driver, Sophia, was not the Sophia reading this.
I know, right? Like,
I was like,
I was like, yeah, that's not me, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't leave the kids in the car.
Yeah, let me just clarify that. That was, I should have noticed that name and then I had Cash read that one or myself read that one. I'm sorry. But holy fuck.
Okay, so she went to some random house and left this kid in the car by herself.
What the hell? That
Instead
is not
of
okay.
taking her to daycare like she was supposed to.
I don't know if this driver realizes this, but you know that could technically be classified as kidnapping, child endangerment, right? Because I used to have to drive for the daycare that I worked at, and so I had to get a special license and all this stuff, right? So there is an outlined route that you have to take, and you take that route. And there is, in case of like you're unable to go through those roads, you have to phone the daycare, tell them where you are, and tell them what route you're taking. You couldn't just not go where you're supposed to go. And you were not allowed to make any stops when you had the children with you. Like if you needed gas, you had to wait till you dropped the kids off. Even if you had one kid and you had time to kill, you still could not go get gas. You still had to wait, drop until that kid was dropped off. You could not make any additional stops with the children with you without contacting the daycare. Yeah.
Straight back to the daycare. As a parent, that's what I would expect. You pick her up and you go straight back to the daycare.
Yeah.
You do not stop for any reason.
Right? You don't stop, you don't pass go, you don't get your 20 bucks, whatever. Like, do your fucking job. You're just the fucking driver. That's all you have to do. Like, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
That's somebody else's child you decided to drive somewhere different with. Do you not know what the laws are?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And especially if you took like so much extra time. What the fuck, man? Like anything could have happened. You can't leave your own kids in a car while you run in and pay for the gas anymore, right? What is wrong with you people? Your goddamn job.
Yeah. So this next review is written by an Aisha, but it's strange because she actually lives in, well, according to her Facebook profile, she lives in Athens, Georgia. So
and doesn't appear to have any kids at all. It was very bizarre.
Yeah. So this one also is sus.
Yeah.
So Aisha Verji recommends Zebra Crossing Academy. She says, Zebra Crossing Academy is the best daycare for kids. Everyone there is so understanding and welcoming with open arms. I recommend this daycare because it's one of the best in Calgary. Everyone spreads joy and sunshine, and they always have a smile on their face. Sus.
Right? I mean, best in Calgary, she says, from Athens, Georgia. Safe away, tucked over there with not having any children she needs to figure to care for. Right? And you know what? Is it illegal to post reviews that aren't real? Of course it isn't. But
yeah, but come on.
Here's the thing. If you are
make it believable.
Right? Don't make it so generic, for one. And again, we're talking about children. Let's not falsify how great this daycare is. It's a daycare. If you want to write false reviews, by all means, write false reviews for a product you bought off Amazon, for a whatever you whatevered. But don't like this is a daycare. I find this very morally wrong. People like, so if you're, I don't know, if you're an upcoming influencer or whatever, you can buy follows, you can buy reviews and all this stuff like online, right? You can put in purchases and people with fake accounts will write fake reviews for you. Whatever, fill your boots. Maybe not for daycare centers that are responsible for young children's lives.
Yeah.
Maybe get real reviews. Ask the people that attend your daycare if they wouldn't mind writing a review. If they love the daycare, they're going to write a review. Don't buy reviews. Don't get your friends or family. Let's just be honest when it comes to daycare. Let's have a rule that you cannot write false reviews for daycares.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine? I mean, obviously this person doesn't give a shit, but if you wrote a false review for a daycare and then a serious incident, let's say, happens at said daycare, you don't have any guilt for that.
Right.
Like, one review I have an issue with on their Facebook page is a complaint from back in 2020 regarding fees being withdrawn early without permission. Although the review itself is not particularly damning, it's the response that Zebra Crossing Academy makes that is my issue. So the Prathana Pathak does not recommend Zebra Crossing Academy. She says the owners are only after money-making business. This is the worst place you could send your kids. Do not make mistake and waste your money sending your kids to Zebra Crossing Academy. I had my 2-year-old attending preschool before COVID-19, and after it closed in March, I was not sure about sending her in September, but these owners were so greedy that they did a withdrawal of the fees a month before without informing us. When we asked for a refund, they refused to refund $780. In the time of the pandemic, the owners are only after money-making business. There is no humanity left in these people anymore. Shameless people for ripping money off innocent families. I would have sent my child back when things would settle, but not anymore. I will not recommend anybody to this greedy place. Please be careful and save yourself and child from this dirty money-making place. I mean, not terrible. We've talked before about, like, you know, you have a contract and you have to give 30 days notice and blah, blah, blah. Even though I think this is total bullshit when it was during the pandemic. My issue is this. To which Zebra Crossing responds, Miss Pathak's child has attended our center since September 2019 and is fully aware of our 30-day cancellation policy and 1-month advance payment policy as per the contract she signed below. In a timeline of events, May 13th, 2020, Ms. Pathak confirmed September 2020 reinstatement for child. Commitment confirmed. July 24th, 2020, email was sent to all parents for children starting in September 2020 that fees will be withdrawn on August 1st, 2020. July 31st, 2020, whatever. I'm not going to go back and forth. Anyway, my issue comes when Zebra Crossing proceeds to post pictures of their signed contract that has personal information on it, or has like the parents' personal information on it. Don't fucking do that, people. That's like, that's not okay. And when Parantha Pathak replies asking them to take the picture down, how do we think they respond? Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me remove that picture. Fuck no. They respond by posting another picture of signed document. Now, regardless of what the situation was, who's right, who's wrong, that is simply unprofessional and frankly says so much about the people running the center, right? Like, don't post pictures of people's signed contracts online. You just don't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the legalities around that, but it ain't okay. And it makes you look like a jackass.
I was going to say, couldn't she sue them for that, though? Because it's her signature being out or her personal info being out?
You know what? I feel like there has to be some law around that, right? Like, there's a reason why when you see pictures online of contracts and stuff, certain things are blacked out.
Right.
Right. So there has to be, if I was her, I would have been talking to a lawyer. And the sad thing is, 5 years later, that shit's still posted. It's still online. This pictures have still not been removed. Like, not doing yourself any favors. You make yourself look absolutely like a horrible company to deal with.
She's looking petty.
Yeah.
Real petty.
Yeah, and unprofessional. So even though these reviews are up to 5 years old, the reason for putting them in here is because what does it show? A pattern of behavior, a consistent lack of regard for the parents, regard for the children. They're talking about, like, how many reviews did we read when they talked about the food, not being enough food, right? And I did see another post, which I didn't add on here because I wasn't really sure if I should, but it was regarding the staff don't change diapers. So I can't confirm this because this was a discussion on Reddit, but apparently it has to be in a certain room because it's so outlandish. Like this could not be for infants at all. So they don't change diapers. So if your child poops, they either leave it or they call you to come change it, is what someone posted on Reddit. Exactly.
How? Like I guess like
Right.
my gym does that, but they're a gym, so the
And the
parents
parents
are
right
right
there. Yeah.
there.
And that's totally understandable at a
But how would
gym,
you do that in a daycare center?
right? That's why I didn't include it because I couldn't find any information that confirmed other than so this person said like when they went and did the tour of the center told them that they don't change diapers. So they didn't clarify if it was in like a certain age room. I'm gonna hope that it would at least be for like maybe 4 and up because they expect them to be potty trained by then or something. If y'all think an infant is not going to poop in a day, I had one on last Thursday. That little fucker pooped 6 times. I was like, God damn, man. Hold it in there. What's going on? But I didn't call mom and say, hey, you might want to come. Could you imagine? Like, you gotta leave work again and come and change him for the 6th time. What the fuck? Like, so I'm hoping that this was for the older kids at least. And someone replied to their thing and said, can confirm they had to leave work to come and change their child's poopy diaper. What is like you're a daycare, part of your job. And not to mention the fact that this daycare claims that it's a Montessori. How many of these have we done that the daycare is a Montessori?
They're all fucking Montessori.
Right? But they also
Montessori ones are the worst ones.
right? They also offer kindergarten.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Kindergarten is absolutely, it is not a requirement in Alberta. I don't know if it's Canada wide, but it definitely in Alberta, it is not a requirement. Can we at least say keep it in the school system?
Right.
Daycares that can't get their shit together and look after their kids should not be teaching kindergarten because
Nope.
I'm going to guess those kids are not learning kindergarten curriculum at all.
No.
There's no way they are.
Reviews from a former employee on Indeed. October 9, 2024. Awful. I won't wish it on my worst enemies. Supervisor. Southeast Mahogany. What is the best part of working at the company? It was close to my house, but the management rip off its employees. Your vacations are refused. It is just very awful working there. Won't recommend. What is the most stressful part about working at the company? Stolen work hours, refused vacation, high workload, and less pay. Careless about the welfare of employees. Don't care about the children. Just see it as a business. Under-equipped classrooms. I mean, the list is long, but I don't have much time. What is the work environment and culture like at the company? Not welcoming and a lot of gossip. What is a typical day like for you at the company? Stressful, frustrating, and sad.
That is, sorry, that is so sad. What is your typical day like? You know how they mean like what do you do within a day? Oh, well, we teach the kids or we read to the kids or we do that. Like that's what they're asking. And for the response to be stressful, frustrating, and sad, it's just heartbreaking.
Response from Zebra Crossing Academy, October 16, 2024. We are very committed to our staff and parents and children. We have a set of policies that need to be followed by licensing and by our company. If the individual does not want to follow that, then this is not the right place. We want to be fair and involved. So now they change their tone.
Right. You know, like just dude, stop responding to this shit, man.
Right.
You're not helping yourself. Like you did not show any compassion to the staff. Like you basically just said, those are the rules we have to follow. Okay, well, your previous staff just said their day is spent being stressed, frustrated, and sad. Sad.
And like stolen work hours
Right?
and refused vacation.
I
Yeah,
actually,
sorry, you need to treat your staff better.
I can't think of a policy for any like employment policy that would say you have to steal your staff's hours and
Right.
vacation. I'm
Right.
sorry, what policy is that? What the fuck? Like people that work with children, if you don't give them vacation, they go crazy. I'm sorry. You
You
work
have
with kids
to,
all day.
especially working with kids in a daycare, these directors and owners need to think about their employees' mental health,
Exactly.
right? And they need that vacation, they need that. And yeah, this person is not thinking about anything but
Not at
themselves.
all. One of the main reasons why I love my job is because I've been so fortunate to have really great parents. Parents that understand that I need time off. My parents never question, like, we feel guilty, right? When we take time off and we've closed, and even for like our holiday, there's guilt there. I always feel guilty. And I'm always like, okay, have a good holiday, because I feel bad. And there's nothing better than when my parents say, I hope you have a great time, or I hope you have a good vacation, because they always genuinely mean it. And I know I've inconvenienced them because I've taken time off. I understand that. But instead of being mad, the parents are like, you need your time off. You look after our kids. Like, you need that. Like, they understand that. For these directors and owners to try and deny their staff their vacation that they have fucking earned, you're assholes, is what you are. Your staff work for you. You make all the money off the backs of these staff. And that's fine. That's how employment works. I get that. But they're doing all the work and you're reaping all the reward. The least you can do is ensure that they have their required vacation. I'm not asking you to be like, look, labor laws say I have to give you 2 weeks, but I'm a generous person, so here's an extra week. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying what they're required, what they have earned, you need to give them that fucking vacation, man. It's hard working with kids. It's so hard. It's so stressful because we do everything we can to make sure those kids are loved and happy and safe. That's so much pressure on us, and it's a lot. You need the time off.
So this is from July 2024. Very negative experience. This was a teacher. It says it was a teacher there, right?
Yep.
What is the best part of working at the company? I'm sorry.
This is what
Nothing.
Indeed, right? This is what
He says,
Indeed asks. Yeah.
he says nothing. It's a torture to work with them.
Oh my God. Could you
Okay.
imagine your day? What happened today, honey? I was tortured all day.
I was
It's
tortured
fine.
all day. Yeah.
Fuck.
What is the most stressful part about working at the company? Everything. Very unpleasant place to work at. What is the work environment and culture like at the company? Very dominating, unreasonable, disrespectful towards staff. All right. Sounds like fun. And then this is from an early childhood educator in February of 2024 says this is a horrible place. So they ask, what is the best part of working at the company? Absolutely nothing, but the parents are nice.
Oh my God.
What is the most stressful part about working at the company? Everything. Coworkers, gossiping, owners, managers. What is the work environment and culture like at the company? It's horrible. It's the most toxic place I've ever worked for. What is a typical day like for you at the company? Crying, stressing, nervous, scared. Oh, this
That's
poor
so
girl.
right.
Oh, it's so sad. These are the only reviews on Indeed for the center, and they are all 1 stars.
And they're all very similar, right?
Poor
Like,
people.
yeah,
And that's just like people who happen to come across and leave a review on Indeed. I didn't even know you could leave worker reviews on Indeed. So most people don't even know that's an option, right?
exactly.
So these are just very few people who have found an outlet to write that. I'm sure there's many more.
Yeah. And I will say the people writing these reviews did it very respectfully because myself, I would have been a lot more open.
Yeah.
But these employees did it very respectfully and honest. I mean, I couldn't imagine a job that I like my typical day was again crying, stressing, nervous, and scared.
Well, that just proves that they have a high staff turnover rate, right?
Absolutely.
That just
Yeah.
proves that because all those reviews are pretty close together in dates.
Yeah. And scared, like you gotta think, they're not scared of the kids. They're not crying and stressed and nervous because
No,
the
no,
kids are
no.
anything. It is
No, they're not little Chuckies running around.
right. Like this, they are scared and nervous and stressed because of either the director, the owner, or the
Yeah.
other staff. And let me just say, staff If you're working in a daycare center or any job, don't be an asshole to the other employees. You're all in it together. Like, that's your team. If you notice, like, a new employee comes in, don't be cliquey, and you're not in fucking high school, man. Come
Yeah,
on.
just
Like,
treat
you've
everybody.
got to work with these people. And not to mention the fact you're setting a very poor example for the children you are caring for. You're an early childhood educator. We're called teachers. Teach. Don't teach them how to be a jackass to other people. Like, what is
Yeah.
wrong with you? I'm gonna guess they're all the staff are feeling the same way, but instead of coming together united and like helping each other through that awful situation you're in, you're all being complete dicks and treating each other like shit. Does that make you feel better?
So just if any staff want to come forward,
Yes, we are
you don't
open.
have to say who you are. Can be totally anon.
Yep, we will keep you anonymous.
We
We
would
will not
love
share.
to speak to you about your experiences at Zebra Crossing Academy.
Absolutely. And any staff from any daycare center, to be honest,
Yeah, that's true.
if you know that your
Anything.
center is, I know it's hard to report them sometimes because of that fear that it's going to get back to you, like get back to who did the report. You don't have to report them to anybody. Message us. We'll look into them. We'll out them. We won't say that it was a report from a staff member. We will
No.
say we found this shit online.
Yep. Your secrets are safe
Yep.
with us. We
Yeah.
will never ever expose you.
Exactly. And even day home providers, if your agency is being awful, feel free to let
Yeah.
us know. We'll look
Yeah.
into them too,
Yeah.
because
We will.
like even though our platform has shifted a little bit, like and we cover a lot more than just daycares, they're still our priority. There's still we want to out people that are supposed to be caring for kids and not doing it properly.
That are shitty. Shitty
Yeah.
people. We want to
Yeah.
out shitty people.
Exactly. We all care for kids. We all like feel very strongly about kids being cared for properly. And many of these daycares, especially as of late, are not doing their jobs right. And I think it needs to be made public. They need to be outed. It doesn't seem like any consequences are being made by the people that are in charge of them. So if licensing, if the government, if the owners of the centers are not going to step up and take fucking responsibility for the care of these kids, the least we can do is make it publicly known.
Yep.
So our ears are open. Just saying. So while we don't know too much information as to what actually happened at Zebra Crossing Academy in Mahogany, what we do know is that it most likely happened to an infant or toddler in an infant or toddler room. So a child or children under the age of 3. It was serious enough to stop the care of anyone under that age in the center, which personally, I think we talked about this already. It should have been shut for all kids. If you can't take care of kids under the age of 3, you can't take care of kids that are 3,
The age of 4.
4. Yeah, like, I'm
Makes no
sorry,
difference, right?
right? What line does whoever makes those
You know what?
decisions?
Maybe they don't have, like, this is purely speculation. But maybe they had to get rid of all their staff for the kids under 3.
Oh, that's possible too.
And
Yeah.
they don't have any staff in the room. So that's why they can't take care of under 3.
That's a good point.
Right?
But I mean, so let's say, okay, you've got 10 staff and 4 or 5 of those staff were doing such a bad job you had to fire them. What makes you think the other 5 staff members are not doing such a shitty job?
Right?
Either way, I think the fact that they just closed down for 3 and under it's not okay. If I was a parent there with a child that was 3 years and 3 days old, I'd be fucking pulling that kid too. Like, or a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old.
Definitely want to know what's going on. For
Yes.
sure.
So we will continue to follow the story closely and update as we can. Saying that, we do realize that our podcast is recorded a couple of weeks prior, so it does not come out like it's not timely that way, but we will update on our social media pages. We can record an update and put it in a previous recording. As we find out, we'll let you all know. But yeah, that's Zebra Crossing Academy in Mahogany.
Zebra crossing, Joanne.
I'm-
Say it.
No.
Zebra.
Zebra.
No, it's zebra.
Never. All right. Well, we didn't give you any funny stories before I don't think I have any after, so we're just gonna leave you with this awful situation. So sorry about that. And that's it for Moms on Mics this week.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Moms on Mics Podcast, on TikTok at Moms on Mics, and join our Facebook group, Moms on Mics.
If anyone has any topics you want us to cover, or if you have any questions or suggestions, you can email us at momsonmics@gmail.com or submit through our website, momsonmics.com.
We would also appreciate it if you could rate and review us on whatever platform you're listening on. It really helps the podcast move up on their charts so it gets more exposure. Hope you join us again next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.